Hey, what's going on everybody? Dr. Sis here. So today I'm going to explain why there is zero chance I'm going to run out and get this COVID shot. Now I've been seeing some people posting they're all proud to roll up their sleeves and get their shot, and that's great. That's your choice. I am all about freedom of choice, and that's why this is such a big deal to me. But let me explain why there's no chance I'm gonna get this shot. So these are the survival rates, COVID survival rates, right from the CDC. So in my demographic, there's a 1 in 5,000 chance of me dying from COVID. But that's not really true. So this factors in everybody. Now, when you look at everybody, only 12% of Americans are metabolically healthy, which is terrible, which is a much bigger issue than COVID, in my opinion. But thankfully, I'm one of that 12%, right? So my chances of dying from COVID are zero. Why would I run out and get a fast-tracked, no long-term safety tested vaccine, which could hurt me when my chances of death are zero, right? It's like, well, but it's been shown to be safe and effective. It hasn't been, there's no way it can be shown to be safe because it's such short term. How do you know these two shots, which are designed to have an impact on your immune system, don't create autoimmune diseases that don't show up for months or years, right? Why would I take that risk when my chances are virtually zero? Well, but you want to protect others. The studies didn't even show that getting the shot prevents or reduces transmission. Didn't even show it. They don't even claim it, right? That's why after you get the shot, you still have to wear your mask and distance and isolate and all this. Let me ask you this. If you've already gotten COVID and developed and recovered and developed the antibodies, T cells, everything that protects you in the future, why are you supposed to still go getting the shot? Like, how in God's name can you think that getting this fast-track shot is better than acquiring immunity than naturally? That doesn't make any sense to me. And let me ask you this. For teenagers, right, they're recommending the shot for everyone 16 and over. So for 16, 17, 18, 19-year-olds, it's a 99.997% survival rate. Why would you risk damaging their immune system and damaging them when there's virtually zero chance of them dying from it, right? I mean, how do you combine two new COVID shots plus a flu shot and think that's safe and effective? There's no way. Like, safe and effective, it's a lie. It's such a lie. I mean, just look at it. How can you say something's safe when it's only a few months old? So anyhow, those are some of the reasons why there's no chance I'm going to run out and get this shot. And again, if people want to, that's great, right? Here's the big issue where this looks like it's heading. It's like, well, you don't really have to get the shot. But if you don't, you can't fly, and you can't go in this store, and your kids can't be part of this, and you can't function in society until, your new app, which tracks contact traces you and everything else, shows that you've went out and got your shot. That's where I have really big issues, right? But even going further, what could I do that's better than getting this shot? Well, how about vitamin D? There's so many studies out there. And the public health department never talks about it, right? What are they talking about? Mass distance, isolate, quarantine, contact trace, over and over and over. That's all you've been hearing for 9 months, like it's actually making an impact. But anyhow, vitamin D, here's like these studies, right? The headline, this is crazy. 9 of 10 COVID-19 deaths may be prevented with vitamin D. You say the majority of deaths due to SARS-CoV-2 infections are statistically attributable to being low in vitamin D and could possibly be prevented with vitamin D supplementation. Like, wow, how about instead of poisoning my body with this, I just make sure my vitamin D levels are up. The next one says, being low in vitamin D markedly increases the chance of having severe disease after infection with COVID. So it's like vitamin D isn't going to stop you from getting COVID. It just boosts your makes your immune system work better so you don't have severe reactions or die from it, right? Plus, vitamin D helps protect you from every strain of the flu, every other strain of coronavirus, coccidiovirus, rhinovirus. It's crazy that you hear nothing about that when there's so much coming out. And all you hear is run out and get this, right? It's just crazy to me. It's like, well, what about, all these people over 70, right? Here's my concern. Flu shot's been around a very long time, right? And it's like safe and effective, effective at what? Preventing death? Isn't that the whole purpose of getting the flu shot, to prevent death? Well, who dies from the flu? The older population, people over 65. So is the flu shot that's been around for decades effective at preventing death? So here's a study, over 14 years and 7.6 million deaths they looked at. Turning 65 was associated with a significant increase in the rate of getting the flu shot, right? However, there is zero evidence that indicated the vaccine reduced hospitalizations or death in old people. It's like, whoa, so this flu shot that's been around for decades isn't showing to reduce deaths in the elderly, but this brand new one is supposed to? Maybe, I hope so, but for someone like me who has zero chance, there's no reason for me to run out and get this, right? So like, what about these numbers here? What the hell do these ones mean? 3, 11, 58. So if you're born before 1960, well, close to 1960, you'd have gotten 3 vaccinations as a kid between 0 and 18 years old. Then in 1983, it's up to 11, all right? So in 1986, they passed this law where you can't sue drug companies if you get hurt by a vaccine anymore. So if there's a vaccine injury, right, you have to sue the government, okay? So the flu shot, for example, the government has paid out over $4 billion for flu vaccine injuries. $4 billion, right? These injuries do happen. Right, so this shot, injuries are going to happen. And who do you have to sue? The government, okay? Now, since that law passed, kids today between 0 and 18 years old are gonna get 58 shots, right? 58 shots. Well, how is it working? You're getting all these shots. Kids must be much healthier today than they were 20 years ago. 54% of kids have a chronic illness. 54%. They're finding heart disease in kids, obesity, diabetes, all these chronic conditions in kids, and you hear nothing about it. So it's like, what if we did the things that improved overall health, metabolic health, so the chronic illness rates go down, plus your chance of dying from COVID are reduced to virtually zero. Think about this, 70-80% of your immune system resides in your gut. How big of an impact do you think poisoning your gut with sodas and French fries and Mountain Dew and cookies and crackers have on your immune system? Like, it's so crazy right now. You can drive through McDonald's and have French fry grease stains on your mask as you're sucking your straw through the side. That's fine because you have your mask on. But if you eat good food, take vitamin D, are ridiculously healthy, you're fit and active, and you've gotten COVID and you have the antibodies and say, hey, I'm not wearing a mask anymore, you're some kind of evil person that's trying to kill people. It's so asinine, I can hardly stand it anymore. Right? So I guess the whole point of this is if you're and this was crazy, I think it's under 50% now. So if you're one of the 40 to 50% that are like skeptical and think getting this shot is a bad idea, good. I really think the intelligent choice is to eat good food, exercise, get good sleep, take some vitamin D, at least get your vitamin D checked, see what your levels are, and if you're low, get it up, right? And do not be a guinea pig for this shot.